why you shouldn't raise your prices at your restaurant.
Get your knife and fork ready to dig into a plate full of profits on the DFY Restaurant Revolution podcast with your host, recovering restaurant owner, Michael Thibault.
Hey, my name is Michael Thibault. Thank you for stopping by and listening to this edition of the DFY Restaurant Revolution podcast. Again, my name is Michael Thibault, and I'm a restaurant owner just like you. Well, I had 6 restaurants. I sold them all back in 2008, became an author, speaker, coach, owner at DFY Marketing Systems, and my goal has been to help restaurant owners make more money, get more new customers, and have a better life with minimal amount of work on their part. And as much as I can help, that's what we do. So that's a little bit about me, but we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. But I felt the exact same way if you're thinking about raising your prices. And I had partners in a couple of my restaurants, right? And so there's always this big apprehension, you're scared shitless of raising your prices because you're afraid what? You're going to lose all your customers, right? They're going to say, that place is way too expensive. We're not going there. Oh my goodness, they raise their prices. What are they thinking, right? And that's the reason why you wouldn't raise your prices. And I deal with hundreds of restaurant owners in different coaching groups, and everybody's apprehensive. It's so hard to get restaurant owners to get over that hurdle, to break that mental barrier of raising their prices. And it's so funny when I, talk to restaurant owners, take on a new client, and I'm like, hey, after looking at their menu, you want to give yourself a $10,000 a year raise? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, with absolutely no work on your part, and it won't cost you a dime. And they're like, what do I got to do? Well, let's raise your prices 50 cents because you're cheap, right? 50 cents. That's easy to figure out. You ain't going to lose anybody over 50 cents, okay? So you work hard. Okay, the owning a restaurant is not an easy business. You should be paying yourself first, by the way, before you pay your staff, before you pay your vendors, before you pay your insurance company, your rent. You should be paying, because if you can't survive, why did you open up the restaurant in the first place, right? And I know you're saying, I can't afford to pay myself. I got all these paychecks. I know, I've been there, I understand. But it's like 3 things. One is, you ain't got enough customers, you ain't got a business. That's a marketing problem. Call me right now and I can help you, right? 2, your purveyors and suppliers are, taking advantage of you, or somebody stealing from you, or, you're not paying attention to loss control, portion control, right? And number 3 is your prices are too low, because, look at the price of eggs right now, right? Jeez, a dozen eggs are like $8-9 a dozen if you can find them. How do you run a bakery without charging for that, right? Because you can't produce your product if you don't have the money to buy the eggs. If you got a bakery, Waffle House put this 50-cent surplus charge on every egg that you order. But don't they put eggs in waffles and pancakes too? So why don't you just raise your prices? I'm not a huge fan of surcharges. Just raise your damn prices, man. But I know it's hard to get over that mental block, okay? So why wouldn't you raise prices? Well, if you're at the top tier of your market, okay, and do a little market research, it's probably not, in the cards if you just arbitrarily go in and raise your prices. There's this little hamburger joint. It's super cool. Right down the street from my office, Rochester, Michigan. It's called Knapp, K-N-A-P-P. And there's a couple of them, but a new owner came in and bought this one. And this is like the original. It's, all done in white with the, White Castle tile. And it looks, and it's counter service. Really, really cool. Okay, so he sold it during the pandemic. New guy came in, And my daughter loved that place, right? Because she loves hamburgers and the old-fashioned fries and the chocolate shakes. It's really super cool. New owner came in, just raised everything like $2. It's like, whoa, I get it. It's the pandemic, but really? You're just blindly raising your menu prices across the board $2? So a hamburger that was $7 is now $9. Fries that were, $3 are now $5. And you didn't change the damn thing, okay? You didn't up your service. You didn't up your product. You're not giving me more. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea just to arbitrarily raise your prices that much. But you can raise your prices in a percentage, in a systematic way where you're not going to lose your customers. I hear so many of our clients going, I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. I've been losing all this money. I could have raised my prices. Do it incrementally. What am I? It's the day after the Super Bowl I'm recording this. This is probably why I'm having a hard time. But if you do it incrementally over like every quarter, that's why you got to be doing menu reviews every single quarter, right? Getting rid of those dogs, trimming it down, becoming profitable. Because, restaurant owners are like, oh, yeah, and what's the big thing? Food costs 30% or less. I got to have it 32% or less, right? Last time I checked, you can't take a food cost percentage to the bank. What you can take is profit contribution from that hamburger, okay? Not a 32% food cost. Everybody was like, oh, we should be selling, the lowest food cost items on the menu. Those are the ones we need to pay attention to. Really? Because the filet, at $30, I'm making $15 on, as opposed to the hamburger, at 30% that I'm making $3 on. I can't take, the 30% to the bank, but I can take the $15 that I make on the hamburger, even though I'm sorry, on the filet, even though it's a 50% food cost, right? Same thing with wine. Wine's awesome. Like, that's why I sold a lot of wine. But you don't want to just arbitrarily come in. You want to do it percentage-wise. You want to do it incrementally, okay? So give yourself a raise. Raise your prices. Do it incrementally. Don't raise them just by everything's, $2, $3 more. Don't price yourself out of the market. Get your ass out of your restaurant. Go grab some menus. Check out your competition. That is important because you want to know where you stand, right? If you're at the top, that's fine. That's great. But you got to be given the best service, have the best product, the best staff. Your place looks the best, or you got something really, really different and unique that nobody else has, okay? So make sure you got all those in, or, you're going to be in trouble if you're just arbitrarily raising your prices. And then keep an eye on it. Okay, so you raise that hamburger, to $9 that used to be, $8. What, is nobody buying it now? All right, maybe you price yourself, a little too high. Got to make a price change. And you're in control. Like, if it's not working or you're losing money, change it. You're the boss. Okay? You don't have to wait for anybody's permission. It's a great thing about independence. You don't have to get approval. You are the approval. You're the decision maker. That's your big superpower over the corporates. Another thing is that I used to do, and a lot of people during COVID, right now, Waffle House, like I said, hey, there's this bird flu, issue with the eggs. Nobody can get eggs, and they're really super expensive. So we're tagging on 50 cents for every egg that you order. Okay. The good thing they're doing is they're being transparent with their customers about why they're raising their prices. All right. People aren't stupid. They get it. They go to the supermarket. They can see there's no freaking eggs there. And if there are, they're $9 a dozen. They used to be $3. Now they're $9. They get that. They go out to a restaurant. They want to have breakfast. They order eggs. They expect to pay a little more. Okay. So, but you need to communicate with that through your marketing. Maybe it's a little tab on, the menu, or your servers are explaining it, because I'd rather just raise the prices and then change the menu when it goes back. But people understand, okay? And that's a great opportunity to raise your prices, even if you're not that much affected because you were covering it with the original, pricing of that menu item anyways. Okay. Other things, be prepared, have your front of the house staff, and you got to get your staff to buy in as well. Okay. Because you don't want them going to the table going, yeah, we raised our prices. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You don't want them saying that. So make sure that you spend the time, train them, teach them, and roll those price increases out strategically. Okay. Just don't arbitrarily do it. All right. But again, you work hard. You deserve to be compensated for how hard you work. You are a vital member of your community. People go to your restaurant to celebrate life. Give them an experience. Nobody goes to a restaurant to be bored. You deserve to be paid well. So make sure, spend the time, check out your competition, see where you are in the hierarchy of pricing for your menu items, and raise your prices. Give yourself a raise because you deserve it. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. I very much appreciate it, or watching. And how can I help you? You can head over to our website, DFY Marketing Systems with an S.com, and get yourself a free membership, a free DFY membership. It's got all kinds of great, we update it every month for marketing. You can copy and paste it, using for social posts. There's a marketing calendar for each and every month that you can download, and there's all different types of free resources. So head on over there. And really cool, you can check out what other people think about you online for reviews under our review management page. So get yourself a report card for your restaurant. And here's a little secret. You can check out your competition too. Put their name in, and it'll tell you what they're saying about your competition all over the internet. So it's DFY Marketing Systems with an S.com. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the DFY Restaurant Revolution podcast. Join us in the revolution by subscribing, rating, and reviewing on your favorite podcasting platform today.